When he spoke, words felt like poetry.
No, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone.
When he spoke, baseball felt like tradition.
The flowers appear on the earth, the time of the singing of birds is come.
Tonight, we've lost more than a person.
And the voice of the turtle is heard in our land.
We've lost Ernie.
Good evening. It's the moment we knew was coming, but hoped would never arrive. Ernie Harwell has died at the age of 92.
We're glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 11 on a night when Metro Detroiters and baseball fans everywhere are mourning Ernie's passing, but also celebrating his life.
We're told Ernie passed away at his home in Novi this evening. He'd been battling inoperable cancer of the bile duct for nearly a year.
Let's bring in Bernie now with more on this remarkable man. It's funny, ever since Ernie's diagnosis, it felt like he kept assuring us that everything was going to be okay, which is very much the optimism he always gave baseball fans.
And the care that he always showed and the gentlemanliness. I mean, there's so many words you could use. He was a rarity among men. Never once did you hear anyone have an unkind word to say about Ernie Harwell. His death tonight stirs childhood memories for Michiganders everywhere. They remember listening to Ernie Harwell when they were young children, and they listen to Ernie Harwell with their own children and even their grandchildren. Standing by live at Comerica Park with the life of Ernie Harwell is Katrina Hancock. Good evening, Katrina.
Good evening, Bernie. Thank you. Ernie Harwell touched all of us in so many different ways, and his voice will never be forgotten. Tonight, we do take a look back at the 92 years Ernie Harwell spent on this earth and some of the wonderful memories he left for all of us Tigers fans. William Ernest Harwell was born January 25, 1918 in Washington, Georgia. Ernie grew up in the South, but during his childhood, his voice got him teased at school.
When I was a kid, I was tongue-tied, and my family sent me to a speech therapist, and we had to recite poems and make speeches. And one of the poems I recited was "The House by the Side of the Road."
That poem would prove to be helpful later on in life.
And he stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by. Struck him up.
Harwell started his career in the media as a regional correspondent for the Sporting News in Atlanta, a job he received by fibbing about his age. Harwell at the time was only 16. The fib paid off because Harwell eventually accepted a job as a copy editor and a sports writer for the Atlanta Constitution, where he worked for 6 years. Harwell graduated from Emory University with ambitions to be a sports writer. However, there were no jobs at the paper, so Harwell decided to audition for a radio gig at WSB. That audition in 1940 set the tone for the rest of Harwell's career. After working in radio for 3 years, Harwell decided to step away from the microphone. He spent the next 4 years as a writer in the Marine Corps for their publication, Leatherneck. In 1946, Harwell's voice was broadcast again on the airwaves as an announcer for the Atlanta Crackers. What got you interested in broadcasting?
I became a broadcaster because I was a failed sports writer.
In 1948, the unthinkable happened. Harwell was traded as a broadcaster to the Brooklyn Dodgers for a catcher. Are you the only broadcaster that's actually been traded?
I'm the only broadcaster traded for a ball player.
Tell me what Branch Rickey saw in you that he wanted to trade a catcher.
Well, Branch Rickey had sent down some people to scout me like he scouted ball players. He had heard something about me from a fellow named Kyle Crichton, who's the father of Michael Crichton, the writer. And he heard me broadcast. He went back and told Branch Rickey. And Mr. Rickey sent several people down, and they checked me out. And finally, he got in touch with me, and they made that infamous trade.
In 1950, Harwell went to the Dodgers' crosstown rival, the New York Giants. You go from basically single A to the big leagues.
Yeah, it was quite a shock because I had done recreated Major League games in Atlanta, telegraphic reports, but I had never really been in a National League ballpark even. And I went up to Brooklyn, and I had not been to spring training, and I knew a little bit about the players, and I'd seen some of them in the Southern League as they made their way to the majors, but I really didn't have any contact with them, and I was going in there stone cold, but they were great to me.
1 year later, in a deciding Game 3 in the National League Championship Series, Harwell was on the mic when Bobby Thompson hit the game-winning home run to send the Giants to the World Series. Harwell just happened to be broadcasting on national television when that famous home run was hit. Harwell remembered it like it was yesterday.
I think my favorite moment was the Bobby Thompson home run of the playoff game in 1951, October the 3rd, when Bobby hit the home run that sent the Giants to victory over the Dodgers and put them in the World Series.
From 1954 to 1959, Harwell called games for the Orioles in Baltimore. Finally, in 1960, Harwell made it to Motown and became the voice of the Detroit Tigers, replacing veteran broadcaster Van Patrick.
It's a swing and a fly ball hit deep to right, it might be, and it is long gone.
As a broadcaster, Harwell developed an arsenal of words he used over and over again during the next 4 decades.
How did you get all your catchphrases?
Those things happen by accident. Like I had that saying, he took a call, third strike. I'd say he's out for excessive window shopping. That just happened to me one time. I just said it. And the stuff about the foul ball caught from a guy from Toledo, you know, that just happened one time, and people sort of picked it up, so I kept doing it.
During his 55 years on the air, Harwell had the opportunity to broadcast football, golf, along with thousands of baseball games. He also did 2 All-Star games and 3 World Series. Harwell's first major bump in the road came in 1991 when WJR decided to not renew his contract. The fans pleaded for Harwell to be back on the air. The following year, he was back on the air, calling the Tigers games on television. In 1999, Harwell resumed his full-time radio duties and continued on for the next 4 years. Finally, in 2002, at the age of 84, Harwell decided to call it quits and broadcast his final game on September 29th in Toronto.
And rather than goodbye, please allow me to say thank you.
Harwell has been honored in many ways. He was elected to the National Sportscasters and Sports Writers Hall of Fame, the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame, and the Baseball Hall of Fame. He is an author, songwriter, and spokesman. His faith meant more to him than anything, and he lived his life as a true gentleman. On September 16, 2009, Ernie's voice resonated the airwaves again as he addressed the crowd at Comerica Park.
I deeply appreciate the people of Michigan. I love their grit. I love the way they face life. I love the family values they have. And you Tiger fans are the greatest fans of all.
Ernie Harwell is a legend in the game of baseball, and his memory will long outlive the man.
What do you want to be remembered by?
Well, I just like to be remembered as a guy who did the best he could, who tried to follow the precepts that were laid out for him by a higher power, and he didn't do a very good job, but he did his best, and I hope people won't forget me too soon.
There really is only one blessing in death, is that Ernie Harwell will never feel pain ever again. And because of his faith, tonight he is in a much better place. Live outside Comerica Park with a very, very heavy heart, Katrina Hancock, Local 4.
All right, Katrina, thank you. Interesting story.